Are you willing to set your alarm for 6 a.m.? Are you willing to give yourself a routine? Are you willing to become the best version of yourself, to put yourself on camera? Because like almost nobody is. We love the idea of sacrifice, but we hate the idea of actually fucking backing ourselves. The person who is the most castable is the best version of you. Are you putting your time into making that person a reality? What is up? My name is Douglas Nyback. This is DNA, and today we are talking about, do actors need to have backup plans? Some of the best actors that I know have fallen by the wayside because they were the most talented, but they didn't put any time into the actual job, so they were only ever the best bartenders. So do you need to go all in as an actor in the modern era? Let's answer that question. So here's a harsh truth. Most actors that fail in the industry fail not because they weren't good enough, but because they said they wanted to do this, but no, they actually didn't. And you know how I know? Because they didn't actually fucking do it. The reality of it is that the idea of being an actor is far more exciting than the actual job of being an actor. And I've fallen into this trap many, many times. The trap of I have a bunch of different survival jobs. I'm spreading my time across a lot of different things to keep a roof over my head, and I'm calling myself an actor, but if I actually look at where I'm putting my time, I'm spending almost no time in my week acting. I'm putting that time into a lot of different stuff, but none of it is to the thing that I'm actually saying I am as a person, i.e. an actor. Now, when I was coming up 1,000 years ago, acting was, you were either acting or you are not acting. It was like, if you had a plan B, it was pulling you away from one thing. But the reality of the industry now is that it's become super diversified and everybody is doing multiple things. The way in which you can get exposure, build audience, all of this has dramatically changed. You can be telling stories in short form, you can be a massive YouTube star and not have ever been on mainstream television, you can be on a network series and not even have social media. Even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a tequila company because everybody has to do something other than just this one thing. So when I was starting out, having a plan B was something that was frowned on. It was like, if you have a plan B, you're going to choose that because it's going to be so much easier than being an actor. But like, one of my favorite pieces of advice that anyone has ever said is Jim Carrey. He says, you can fail at your plan B. His dad was an accountant, I think, and he was like, my dad failed at being an accountant. So why wouldn't I choose to pursue what I want to pursue, knowing that I could fail at anything?
You can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
If failure is the thing that's keeping you out of this, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail at being an actor. You're gonna fail all the time. Every audition you don't book is technically a failure, but in life, in any profession you choose, you're gonna fail. So whatever you want to pursue it. Put your time into it. That is the major issue. People don't go all in on what they actually want. And there's a lot of reasons for that. For me, I was afraid to really want it. Even really recently, I'm on a TV show right now called Doc. It's awesome. You should watch it. We're starting to film season 2. And I didn't know if I was coming back for season 2, so I was doing all of the mental gymnastics in my mind that every actor does, which is like, I don't even want to go back on the TV show. Who even wants to be on TV even? And the truth was, I wanted to go back really badly. And I actually spent some time walking around and thinking about it. And it took me an embarrassingly long time to arrive at. I love it. I love it. I love being on the show. I love being invited into people's homes to entertain them, to be a security blanket for them, in a comfort blanket in times of challenge. I love that the show is that for people. And I really wanted to go back. I wanted this. And that freed up a tremendous amount of bandwidth in me to be like, all right, well, what can I do to make myself more castable in this? To give them more reasons to bring me back and give me more to do. So I started getting myself into the gym. I started prepping myself for the memorization of medical jargon, all of this stuff, because I clarified what I wanted and I went after it. And I went all in. So we're going to talk about that now in regards to you and your acting career, because there are steps that you can take and there are audits that I think you can do that can help you get on the track of being all in your career. So step 1, do a self-tape audit. Now, we're going to put up in the corners here an example of what a self-tape audit is. I do self-tape breakdowns all the time. Just check them out. This is going through a recent tape that you've done and breaking it down moment by moment, what's working, what's not, and why. It is extremely easy to become complacent in the audition world. It's even more easy to become complacent now that everything is just online. It's you alone in a room. So it's very easy to get caught up in the, okay, cool, that was good. And then just sending it, as opposed to being like, I'm gonna watch this back, and then I'm going to watch a clip of the show that I am auditioning for, and I'm going to ask myself the question, is my tape at the standard of the best performers in the best moments of that show, yes or no? If the answer is no, you're not done, and you're not gonna book if you send it. That's the reality of this. You need to prove that you can be on that. So if your audition isn't at that caliber, they're not gonna be like, I think they could get there. They're not gonna hire that person, unless it's Patrick Schwarzenegger in White Lotus. They're gonna hire the person that they know can do it. And most actors, if you're not booking very much, the first place you need to go is a brutal audit of your self-tapes. And I don't mean brutal by way of being mean to yourself. I mean objective and comprehensive. I do this with myself, and it's a fantastic way to experience ego death. So have fun. If you need help with this, feel free to follow me on Instagram and message me, and we can book a session and I can break down the tape with you. Hey, you've reached the middle of the video. This is where it's the middle of the video. And this is where I take a hot second and just say thank you so much for being here. If you've made it this long, it means that you're like statistically further along than most of the people who are just stumbling upon this channel. So I hope you have found it helpful. And if you have found it helpful, please click like and subscribe and turn on the notifications thing. My whole goal here is to be a lighthouse that actors can point their ships at and have a little bit of direction at times when they're feeling kind of lost. That's the whole reason why I'm here. If you really want to support the channel, you can check out the Patreon. All of my online courses, I created something called the Foundations Program, which basically is an online course. It's about 9 hours of acting courses that gives you literally everything you need to craft a bookable audition, from getting the script all the way through to building character, creating relationships, purpose in doing, text analysis, all to get it up on camera. And the Patreon is absolutely the best way to support the channel. I appreciate you being here. I'm just going to get into the video. Let's keep going with this. Step 2, an internal audit. What do I mean by this? Whenever you get a script, whether it's for a self-tape or for a class, there's always these moments where your body's like, yucky, I don't like this part. And it sounds silly, but it's actually very true. Most actors just skim over this. This happens to me in coachings all of the time. They'll be like, yeah, I don't really like this part. They'll be like, well, this part feels undercooked. And they'll be like, yeah, I don't really like it. I think it's bad writing. And then I'm like, okay, whoa, what if the script that you're being asked to do isn't the problem, and we pull a little Nietzsche here and we say it's all about your radical responsibility, and if the moment's not working, it's because of you. All of these moments of internal friction. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. This could be, there's a big emotional spike and I have to cry, or I have to go into a place of emotional vulnerability, and I don't like that. That often feels yucky. It feels uncomfortable. It can be a moment of big volume. Very recently, I was coaching a bunch of people this week for a project that starts all caps, calling somebody's name, exclamation marks up the wazoo, and everybody came in like whispering the person's name. And I was just like, this is a test. They have asked you to do a specific thing. You don't like it, so you're hedging your bets on it. So they're not going to cast you. You have to pay attention to those moments of internal friction, because they are the manifestation of insecurity. It's nobody's fault. We're all full of these. Of course we are. Insecurities are the sum total of all of the moments in our lives that we've been embarrassed, or we've been hurt, or we've felt uncool, and it causes us to want to avoid things. Our nervous system is trying to protect us from rejection. Unfortunately, you chose the job that is just fucking professional rejection. So when you feel those things, you have to ask, what is really going on with me? Why don't I like this moment? And then you have to accept that part of yourself and find a way through it. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying it's fair. I am saying that on a small principle, on a SAG show, you're gonna make like $2,000 a day, so that's what the money's for. We get paid a lot of money and people bring us lattes. It's not easy, it's not supposed to be. So pay attention to these moments. Ask, what is happening within me and what do I need to address internally to make this moment work? The third step here is to do a Time Audit. Most actors don't act very much. This is going to be very brutal, odds are, and it's going to be telling. Carry a journal with you throughout an entire week, Monday to Friday, and the weekend if you want to, and write down literally everything that you do. I'm talking about like you wake up, you brush your teeth, 2 minutes, cook breakfast. What did you cook? How long did it take? Go through every single thing. Every single thing. Every time that you rehearsed, every time you did a tape, every time you went to your survival job, every time you sat and watched Netflix for 3 hours, every time you played PlayStation, every time you went for a walk with your dog, every time you, whatever it is that you did through the course of that week, audit it. And then at the end of the week, go through and ask yourself how many hours you actually put into things that either were acting related or made you better as an actor. And odds are it's going to be pretty disproportionate. You're probably not spending nearly as much time as an actor as you think you are. This goes back to the concept I was talking about earlier, which is that actors love the idea of being actors, but are you reading books about performance? Are you practicing memorization? I was chatting with a friend today who was getting ready to do a medical show, and she was like having a really hard time with the medical jargon. Of course you do. Like when does an actor have to be like, I got to do a transesophageal echocardiogram? Like that's just not a thing that we have to do very often. So I was like, cool. Spend 10 minutes a week on Duolingo. Pick a language. Spend 10 minutes a week, and it will literally change your brain's neuro connections around saying shit you don't understand. Anthony Hopkins keeps his memory sharp. He's like 1,000 years old. He keeps his memory sharp by memorizing really, really difficult poems. Like you're worried about memorization, memorize Dylan Thomas. Like get into some Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, that shit. Like you will be able to memorize like CW, Little Timmy Doesn't Love You Enough scripts real quick. How much time are you in the gym? This is why I was like, what are you, how long does it take you to cook? And then what are you eating? Like, are you putting things in your body that make you a better, more whole person, that set you up for success? What is your sleep like? Everybody's willing to be like, oh, I'd give anything. I'd do anything to have this opportunity as an actor. Okay, cool. Are you willing to change your life? Are you willing to get your diet right? Are you willing to get into the gym? Are you willing to take care of yourself? Are you willing to get into therapy to look into who you are? Are you willing to study cinema? Are you willing to sleep 8 hours a night? Are you willing to turn your phone off at 10 p.m. and go to bed? Are you willing to set your alarm for 6 a.m.? Are you willing to give yourself a routine? Are you willing to support yourself? Are you willing to become the best version of yourself, to put yourself on camera? Because like almost nobody is. We love the idea of sacrifice, but we hate the idea of actually fucking backing ourselves. Do a time audit. Are you backing yourself? Are you setting yourself up to be the person who is the most castable? The person who is the most castable is the best version of you. Are you putting your time into making that person a reality? This is coming from a fucking former alcoholic who did not do any of this shit. So I'm not saying I'm the king of it, but I'm saying I'm in it with you. And I'm trying. This is not me saying you have to be like a super jacked CEO that like never does anything fun either. Like that whole hustle culture lifestyle can eat a bag of D's. So we gotta find some kind of medium here. Like part of your life is, part of being the best instrument is also living a life. It's falling in love, it's having fun, it's being with your friends. Like you gotta be a person. But are you willing to back yourself? That time audit will really, really tell whether or not you're doing that. Again, I can't stress enough here that I don't want you to become like one of those people that's like, I can't have a plan B. I have to just do this one thing to the exclusion of all else. Like you need to be a well-rounded person. And if you want to be an actor, you gotta act. And you gotta turn yourself into an instrument that is playable at a moment's notice. And that requires some radical responsibility. If you want to do this, go all in. And I hope that this helped you create a bit of structure around like what a healthy way is to go all in, and some steps that you can take to really like dive in on your work, dive in on who you are, and maybe make some changes that will help you grow. I hope you found this helpful. Once again, please click like and subscribe if you did find it helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, confusions, or complaints, let me know in the comment section down below. Go be people.